Guys, in this training, we're going to be looking at progressive overload, your guide to continuous growth. Now, you'll probably hear me speak about this quite often. What I'm talking about here is providing a novel stimulus. At the end of the day, if you want your body to grow and adapt, you have to give it a reason to do so. So if you go in and you grab the 10 kilo dumbbells and you do 10 kilos for 10 reps this week, 10 kilos for 10 reps next week, 10 kilos for 10 reps in a year's time, what expectation are you, or what demand are you putting on your body to make any sort of adaptation to that whatsoever? Your body's like, cool, 10 kilos for 10 reps again. We did that last week and the week before and the week before. I got this. I don't need any more guys. Don't need any more muscle mass, any more muscle fibers. I'm cool with what we have. And at the end of the day, muscle is the currency of health. You're not going to start focusing on progressive overload and suddenly blow up into a bodybuilder. Oh shit, I'm giant overnight. I've been trying to get giant for years. It takes a lot more than a couple of hard training sessions. And obviously, you need the nutrition to back that up as well, which ask Aaron about force feeding 4,000 calories every single day. It's not easy and it's harder than being in a deficit. But again, that's another topic for another day. But look, we need to put that demand on our body. When you look, especially when women are looking at somebody, they'll say toned. I want to be toned. When you say toned, the person who you look at as toned is fucking strong, and they've been focusing on progressive overload. They've been focusing on building lean mass. That's how we become our ability to function with more fuel, our ability to eat more and not put on weight. Pretty good adaptation that would like to enjoy a flexible amount of food. Or a flexible amount of calories. Don't want to be on 1,200 calories your whole life. Another problem where women get stuck quite often. And guys can as well get stuck in this habitual dieting. Once you finish dieting, we should be focusing towards performance. Performance related nutrition is completely different to diet physique related nutrition. Once we've got the physique that we're looking for in terms of dropping the body fat, then everything should be shifting towards performance. And then we need to be looking at what is performance. So what is the actual fundamentals of progressive overload? So what am I going to do if I'm going into the gym? I'm going to go in and I'm going to warm up the way that I would normally warm up. I've covered this in other training videos as well. If I'm doing 100 kilos for that day, I might go in and do the bar, which is 20 kilos for 10 reps. Then I might do 60 kilos for 8 reps. Then I might do 80 kilos for 4 reps. Then I might do 90 kilos for 2 reps. And I might do 100 kilo for 1 rep just to touch that weight for the day. And there would be minimal rest periods during that whole time. I'm trying to get warm. I'm trying to get a bit of blood in there. I'm trying to get as warm as possible and get as prepped and as ready for my working sets as possible without accumulating any fatigue. Because I don't want to accumulate fatigue and warm up sets because that's going to deter from my performance and my working set. So I'm trying to get the most from the least. That's the focus there. So you wouldn't do a set of 20 with the bar, then a set of 20 with 60 kilos, then a set of 20 with 80 kilos and a set of 20. It wouldn't make sense. By the time you get to your first working set, you've probably already done 3 working sets anyway. You're going to be buggered and it's going to reduce or redact from your performance. So I'm looking at my progress, what I did last week. So I warm up, do my warm up sets, make sure that I'm feeling good. And then I look at my weights from last week. My weights from last week say that I did 100 kilos for 6 repetitions last week. Then the target is very simple. It's 100 kilos for 7 repetitions. And if it isn't 7 repetitions, then it's 100 kilos with 6 repetitions with better form than last week. That's the only 2 options. By the way, if I do 7 repetitions and there's an 8th repetition there on the table with good form, I'm going to go and get the 8th and the 9th and the 10th and however many I can do. The proxies for where the set stops is when I cannot complete another repetition with good form. It's technical failure when the technique starts to dissipate or when the technique starts to change into something else. Then that's when the set stops. And again, that's a case by case basis because machine based exercises where you can just let go of the machine and you're cool, or a dumbbell exercise where you can just let go of the dumbbell and you're okay. You've got to press it up. You can't quite press it up. I'll just bring it back down and put it on the floor. Not going to hurt yourself there. Barbell back squat or a deadlift or a Romanian deadlift or something like that. You can't get all the way up from a Romanian deadlift. I don't know. You could compensate and hurt your back there. Back squat, going all the way down deep in a squat and then not being able to get all the way back up. You can fail safely there if you know how to do it, but more than likely you're probably going to do something a bit silly and hurt yourself. So case by exercise basis. If you're unsure, ask me and I will explain this even further. Then I'm looking at my what I did for last time. I'm planning my next step. So I did 6. My rep range is from 6 repetitions to 10 repetitions. So I need to add more reps until I get to 10 reps. Once I get to 11, 12 reps, then it's like, okay, now I'm outside of that rep range. I need to add some more load. Otherwise, it's going to be 100 kilos for 20 reps, 100 kilos for 30 reps. At some point, it becomes inefficient. So the rep range is there to govern when we go up in load, for example, and we go up in the smallest possible increment. That's how we get that continual progress, by not making these massive jumps. Add another 20 kilos to your set. Do that once, and then you'll realise it's too much. Go up in the smallest increment. At the end of the day, if that's still too light, you can always go a wee bit more. If you add too much, you're probably not going to take it off the bar. What you're probably going to do instead is compromise your technique in order to move it, and that's where you're going to hurt yourself. That's where you're going to come unstuck. And this is forcing your body to adapt. You give your muscles a new challenge. This means that your muscles are like, oh, hang on a minute. This is the way we're going. We're going to need more guys down here to help us. This is an overly simplistic view on it, but so your muscles like, right, we need more muscle fibres. So let's kick off the cascade for more muscle fibres. Happy days. We've now just stimulated some muscle growth from that set. And then we're improving smartly by pushing ourselves, using good form, never pushing ourselves at the expense of form. I'll say it over and over and over and over again. Technique first, all right? Technique beats cheats every single time. And we can continue to progress without the worrying about, we can get really fucking strong without worrying about hurting ourselves. And there's plenty of examples of people within the programme who are doing that right now, and who are getting fantastic results that way, going that way about it as well. And then the other thing is obviously making sure we're focusing on getting enough rest. If the exercises have rest periods beside them, stick to those rest periods. They're there for a reason. If you stick to them, you're going to be golden. If you stick to the tempo, you're going to be golden. If you stick to the rep ranges and the guidance that I've given you around rep ranges and how that governs the load and how to progress in that with regards to that, ultimately you're going to be absolutely bang on the money and far better than 95+% of the people out there. So follow the instructions that I'm giving you. Ask me questions if you're unsure. Never assume. There's never a silly question. And honestly, your progressions will be incredible. The strength and the confidence you'll have in the gym will be unlike anything else you've ever seen before.